Ladies and gentlemen, this is Andy and Imogen, and the microphone is in my face so you can see all of my stickers that I have put on this thing.
It's very chaotic.
And because Imogen is... You've actually done the opposite of the female stereotype. So the female stereotype is accumulating a lot of shit, like 8,000 cushions and shit. You've only got one sticker, and I have like
And
100
it's a cat
stickers.
making this face. It's going.
Yep, so everybody's incredibly intrigued by our stickers. So we just wanted to do this video, and it's a gratitude video. We wanted to sit down, and this is the second time that we've recorded this video because the first time the microphone wasn't working.
Yeah.
So we're extra grateful to you guys and girls, but you're never going to know that because you're only seeing the one video. A month ago, I sat down. Look at these stickers, by the way. These are so fabulous.
I think they're going to get a bit distracting. Also, your comment about me accumulating things, I do so very tastefully. You tell me I have too many cushions, but I actually do consider how many cushions there are. And so this is my being tasteful.
So a month ago, we did a video.
We did a video about the fact that we needed some help and that we were stressed about money and we've gone like up and down a lot, and we often go through periods where we make the money we need, we push really hard, and then we don't make money for a couple of months and we run out of money and then we need to do that cycle again. And it basically means that we're perpetually stressed.
Yeah. And why do we do that? Because we're not consistent. Mostly because I was having so many one-on-one clients. Stop fiddling with your stickers. Don't touch my stickers.
Your thing's up too high anyway. It's fine.
It's exactly where it needs to be, lady. This podcast is falling apart. People are tuning in.
No, like the actual...
You leave fucking shit. This is why you don't bring women on your channel. What's that really fucking weird channel called? Fresh and Fit, where they basically just roast women. Women coming on their channel and they're like, did you know that as a woman, like, you're going to get old when you're 30? And she's like, no, like, I'm going to keep fit. Oh, you're going to hit the wall, you stupid, ugly bitch. And then she cries. And then all the men in the comments, like, clap and go, yeah, stupid bitches fucking get what's coming to them.
Well,
it's like the weirdest fucking channel.
I'm going to not go on that tangent.
Anyway.
On topic.
What was the fucking topic? So anyway, we've part of the reason why I was so inconsistent with bringing people on for coaching was that I was doing mostly one-on-one calls, and it was becoming a lot of work, like doing 7 or so clients a week on top of the group coaching program, because most of my calls are like 2 or 3 hours long. I pour my heart and soul into them. I'm wrecked after each call.
Yeah, the way in which you coach, you're only really able to do 1 call a day, and 2 is really pushing it. Because
I put so much in.
Emotional energy that goes into each call.
Yeah, and so it was at the point where it's like, we can't onboard more coaching clients. I'm already doing 7. Like every day this week, I feel like I'm wrecked. How could we possibly bring more people in? And so we'll kind of go on cruise control and not bring any more people in. I've almost had this fear of bringing people in. Long story short, this is why I offer it, but the one-on-one coaching is... it's at a price point where basically no one's going to sign up, at least not for a while. And so that's allowed us to focus on going all in with the group coaching program. And that's a lot more scalable. We could have, I estimate, 50 people in the group coaching, and we'd be able to run it just fine. We've got some coaches that are working in there already. Cam is in there. We're trialing a new guy as well. We've got me in there. It's just a much more scalable thing. So long story short, we have been a lot more consistent in the last month. And I think we've had 8 guys sign up in the last month, which is fucking awesome. And we wanted to sit down and do this scatterbrained, silly podcast and just say that we're really grateful for all of you. We did that video where we asked people, if you wouldn't mind, could you go through my content and make some YouTube shorts, like clip some of the content just so we can, have more content, start bringing more people in, raise the subscriber number and all that kind of stuff. The response was absolutely overwhelming. We had something crazy, like 20 people just go out of their way to do all these YouTube shorts. One guy in particular made like 10 or 15 shorts, and we had like another 20 or so or 30 or so people either send emails or write comments and stuff just with supportive messages saying like, hey man, hang in there. One of my old coaching clients in particular sent us $2,000. Yeah. And that was so, everything inside me was like, you can't accept that. It's $2,000. And then I was like, dude, come on. Like, you just did a video saying your money isn't consistent. You haven't been consistent. Someone just reached out and tried to give you help. Like, accept the goddamn help. And that's something that I've often struggled with, is accepting help.
And it was something that we mentioned in the initial video, is that I think you sometimes wanted to be the lone wolf and have this like massive victory on your own because you're the underdog. And it's this great victory story because you conquered the world all on your own. But we were at a point where we were sick of being stressed, and it took a lot of courage on your part to ask for help.
Mm.
And it was so lovely to see that being responded to well. And
Yeah.
obviously the point of this video is we are very grateful for how well everyone responded, how
Yeah, it was
supportive
really
everyone
nice.
was.
It meant a lot. It really genuinely did. Since that video, we'll talk about. Actually, we might as well talk about like the month that we've had then. So this was the last 30 days. So the big numbers in Australian dollars. Look at the red number, 28,000 US dollars in the last 30 days. And we just wanted to say a big thank you, honestly, to everybody. And I feel like that's scalable. I feel like I can do that every month. I feel like I can bring in 5 to ideally 10 would be amazing people. And now, obviously, not everyone pays in full. Lots of people pay payment plans, hence why it's, I say only $28,000 instead of what you might expect, 50,000 or something. But the point is, I think this is a lot more scalable. It feels a lot more scalable, particularly now that I have Cam in the program as a coach, like working really fucking hard as a coach alongside me. And yeah, it just feels a lot more scalable. So other stuff that we've done since that video. What?
Is that you've developed the coaching program a lot more. So as you mentioned, you've moved away from the one-on-one stuff, and the coaching program now is the group coaching. It is the coaching program, and you've put a lot more effort into developing what it is you have to offer. And you've actually said to me a few times you're more proud of what you have to offer. You're excited to talk about this program because you've really refined it. You've put a lot of effort into making members-only content and having more of a structure to it. And so when we created the video, it wasn't like the initial video asking for help. It wasn't just like, we're not going to do anything different.
No,
Help us.
The point of that video was basically a declaration, like an accountability of like, okay, I'm going to hustle like fucking crazy.
Yeah. And you've pushed a hell of a lot in the last month. And the exciting thing, as we've talked about, is that now, because you still have time free in the calendar, because you're not doing one-on-one calls, you're able to keep maybe not going at a super high rate, because I know you've been putting in a lot of time and a lot of energy into producing more content, developing the coaching program, but you're not going to burn out as quickly because you have some more free time.
Yeah, and so let's really underline something. If any of you are, maybe you sell a product or you're wanting to get into coaching or content creation or whatever it is, you're trying to make money basically. I would really underline, and I say this in every video where I ever talk about making money or business or financial freedom, I really would underline giving as much value as you can. And so if you want more people to come to your, let's say you have a coaching program like me, the best thing that you can do is build the best goddamn coaching program that you can have, so that not only will people want to sign up because it sounds amazing, look at all the value I get, oh my God, you're going to change my life, but you will be more passionate about it when you talk about it. And I think, like you said, before I wasn't super passionate about the group coaching, I was more passionate about the one-on-one coaching. Just because it was more money. And I was giving across the message that I was giving across the message of you should sign up for not that you should do anything, but you should sign up for the one-on-one coaching, and the group coaching is like the redheaded stepchild of the family. It's not as good, you'll be missing out a little bit if you sign up for the group coaching, but maybe I can change your life, but you really want to sign up for the one-on-one coaching. And so that's why we had so many people signing up for one-on-one, because that was what I was pushing. And so, like you said, just sort of, and it was Cam who suggested this, so super grateful to Cam. Cam has done so much for the coaching and for this content, this channel.
Cam, your friend and co-coach in the
Fellow
coaching
coach
program.
in the coaching program, yeah. He said, dude, why don't you just make the group coaching the coaching program, and then you can have a little sentence on your coaching programs, on your coaching page, saying, I also offer one-on-one coaching, but you focus mostly on the group coaching. What if we build that into something spectacular? And so with his help, we have sat down and we have like completely overhauled the coaching program. We have like a members only section where people have a list of videos. I guess I can show that on the screen while I talk. Excuse me, I'm dying and losing my voice, but we've got like members only content, we've got ebooks, we got all sorts of like fancy stuff in there. So we basically built this website that everybody gets access to when they sign up for the coaching. You can see here there's like a bunch of videos that are mandatory that you watch when you're in the program. There's like a whole bunch of extra stuff down here. We've got courses, we've got ebooks, we got like all this fancy stuff. And the point of me showing you this is we've basically put like a shitload of effort into having a higher value proposition. In other words, having a better coaching program. And so, there's this really nice saying by this guy called Naval who gives a lot of advice on money. And I've said this to you like how many times in the last couple of weeks. People do sales because they don't know how to do marketing. And people do marketing because they don't have a good product. And so if you can just get in there and increase the value of your product, make your product better, or be able to change more lives, or just help more people and get better testimonials and all that sort of shit, you don't need to rely so much on marketing. And you definitely don't need to rely on sales. The difference between sales and marketing, by the way, is sales is like pushing something, like you're sitting there saying like, hey, I need to buy. Marketing is more just like organic stuff where you're just doing videos and at the end of it you say, and by the way, I offer a coaching program. It's you like putting content that helps people out there. Sales is more directly trying to sell something.
Yeah, the way I understand marketing is more that it's just letting people know about the product or whatever it is that you're offering, and sales is pushing people to buy said product or service.
Or another way of distinguishing between the two is sales is selling to one person, marketing is like to multiple people. You're just putting your shit out there and saying like, here you go. It's almost like, or it is more organic. You're putting it out there and then anyone comes to you that wants to buy it. Whereas sales is more like, I will sit here to you and say, hey, Imogen, would you like to buy this product? Let's, make that happen. So yeah, we've done that. I have also redone the coaching page. I guess I can show that as well. So I made it like way more fancy, and I won't show you the whole page, but look, there's like all these nice little icons, and I've put more effort into putting the testimonials at the top and writing a little write-up for each one. I've highlighted some of the things, if I scroll down, that you get when you're in the coaching program, like the ebooks and the video courses and all of that and all the members only content. Basically, I made the page look a lot nicer, and I've put more effort into that, which took a lot of fucking work. It's like a week or two of just non-stop.
And gives people a lot more clarity about what it is that you're offering.
Yeah, I think it wasn't clear before.
Yeah, because previously the coaching page was
a bit scattered.
Yes, and a little bit convoluted, and now it's like, no, this is very clear. This is what you're getting. It's very simple. Here are the main points. Like, let's go.
Yeah, and let's make it really clear. I mean, this is a really good example for any of you, and even those of you who aren't working on money or business or anything like that. Any goal that you're working on, it's okay at the start to suck a little bit. And so my main mission for the first couple of years was just have any coaching page that just mentions that I have coaching. And that was good enough. And so if you're out there trying to build an amazing sex life, don't think that you have to be this like absolute god who just knows everything and is perfect and smooth and looks amazing. No. Just start with whatever you've got right now and just get started. Put one foot in the door, or get one foot in the door, and then just get fucking going. So that was definitely the old coaching page. The new one is a lot more professional. We, like I said, have more ebooks and courses. So there's more of like, when people join, it's like all of that stuff holds their hand rather than just it being a coaching program. It's also like a library of ebooks and video courses and all that good shit. Cam is now more a part of the coaching, which has allowed me to step back a little bit. And my long-term plan is to step back completely from coaching, which has meant I can focus more on content, and content brings more people in, which solves the money issue. So it's just been this really nice cycle of stepping back from coaching, making the coaching program more efficient, making it a better program so more people want to sign up and pay more money, and allowing me to have more free time to actually record the content that brings people in. Because of all of this, as you said before, I'm more passionate when I talk about coaching now. You can even hear me as I talk about it. I'm like fucking excited to talk about all this cool shit in there. Whereas before it was a little bit more like, and if you go back 3 or so months, you'll listen to my videos, and all I would ever do is have this video for like 30 minutes or whatever that just gives you a ton of value. And then I would be like, and by the way, I also offer coaching, link in the description. That was it. That was all I fucking said. And because that comes across like I'm half-assing it, like I'm not passionate or excited, why the fuck would you be excited to sign up for coaching if I'm not excited about my own thing? And now I was excited about the program, but that wasn't coming across. Like I wasn't allowing myself to be passionate because I was worried about being like a sellout or any of those kind of words. The classic dichotomy between the artist and the sellout whore, and you have to pick one of them, and it's like, no, you don't. You can do both.
And I think in your mind, you could only be one or the other, and you'd put such a label on telling people about your coaching or asking for money that it was like,
because I don't like selling to people.
And I think what we've kind of come around to is that you don't have to sell to people.
You just have to fucking like at least be excited about the goddamn thing that you're supposedly excited about. Yeah.
Because otherwise you were, I think, stuck in this position where it was like, you knew what you had to offer was good.
Mhm.
You knew you put a lot of work into your clients. All of your clients have had a hell of a lot of success, but then you were asking the question of like, why aren't people signing up? Why don't people know how much I have
Because
to
you're
offer?
not telling them.
Exactly. And so I think
Yeah.
there's been a lot of obviously tangible shifts like we're talking about with the changing with the coaching pages, but also lots of changes with your mindset around all of this.
For sure, for sure. And so again, no matter what your goals are, you can take that lesson we've just given you and apply that to any goal. So if your goal right now, or you're currently working on improving your sex and dating life, if you build yourself up and you improve yourself and maybe you work on your confidence and all of that, but then you sit there and say, why am I not having any lovely ladies in my life? My first question, and I say this to so many people, my first question is, how many women are you talking to each week? And so many times guys will be like, like 2, maybe 3. And it's like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? Go and talk to 50 women a week, 100, 500 women. Talk to as many women as you possibly can and find the ones that like you. And then you go on a date with them and have some fun. It's such a, I'm so good at giving that advice, but with money, I've always had a lot of these sticking points where I've always felt guilty about making money. I've always thought in my head that I've had like a limiting belief that I'm supposed to be poor, that I'm supposed to always be in debt, that I don't deserve money, that it's being a sellout if I go for money, that it would ruin the message of trying to help people, that people would criticize me, all of that kind of like those limiting beliefs. And so you're basically watching in real time me working through those. My channel is, and I try and be as honest and vulnerable as I can, my channel is me working through a lot of these limiting beliefs in real fucking time. I've also started doing those $200 coaching calls that there's a video on my channel, you guys can watch that. So the $200 30-minute coaching calls, and a few of those people end up signing up for coaching, which was something we never could have predicted. And that was why we started doing them in the first place, because we'd done them in the past and found the exact same thing. And so, I sat down with you and we talked about it, and I said, should I just start offering those like cheap calls again? Because some of those people turn into coaching clients and that can help us pay the bills. And so that's been really fucking cool too. It's like people get to sit down with you for 30 minutes, put a face to a name. I know my face is already out there, but it's different when someone's talking to you. You get a little bit of coaching. And so many of the guys are going, holy shit, the 30 minutes of coaching really helped me. Like, fuck it, I need to be in your coaching program. If this is what you can give me for 30 minutes, what would you give me if I had 12 weeks with you?
And we have already talked about how you do want to move away from the one-on-one coaching. So I will say, if anybody is thinking about doing a 30-minute call, it's definitely not something that's going to be offered forever.
Oh, yeah. Cam's going to take those over at some point. I'm training Cam up for him to eventually be able to handle those. I'm not going to be offering my fucking time for $200. Like,
and even more recently, we've been talking about how like you're definitely enjoying the fact that you can have like the coaching program is now people in a group, and there's less slots filled up in your calendar, and so
frees me up to do content.
Yeah. Again, that is something that you're going to be moving away from. So
yeah, for sure. And we've also slowly been putting the price of the coaching up. At the time of recording, it's $8,000 for 12 weeks, and that's just going to keep going up. I said to myself, every time we get a new coaching client, I'm going to put the price up by $1,000, and we're climbing up towards 20 grand. Obviously doing that, we're adding more value to the program and stuff. So any of you who have a coaching program or you have a product or something, I wouldn't just put the price up. I would put the price up so that you can give more value. Like the value has to come first. You get what I mean? Like you change the program, you add more shit to it, you make it better, you make it more efficient, you find ways where you can give more value to people and change their lives more and get them the results faster and all of that. And then you put your price up. So we've been building that shit up. So obviously if you want coaching, now is the time, because I am going to be putting the price up every single time I get someone else signing up. We've got a call tomorrow with someone that wants to sign up. So I would jump on board with that shit. We obviously have payment plans. I am editing videos more, or I should say my new editor is now editing videos more, but I was doing the edits up until basically today, or basically last week, and we were putting a lot more effort. I was editing some of those videos for like 5 to 10 fucking hours. Some of them, the deep ones, we're putting like text on the screen, nice transitions, having more of a focused point. This one here is obviously a little more laid back and chill and just stream of consciousness, but putting more effort into the quality of the videos and the thumbnails and the titles. I've been playing around with AI. I'm using the art generator called Midjourney, and I'm making like really fancy fucking artwork, and then I'm photoshopping my face onto the person in the artwork. And that's been really fucking fun. And those thumbnails do way better. Like you get such an increase in clicks and views when you have better thumbnails and titles and all of that. Yeah. Because people, it's like
of
the
course,
front
it's
cover
more
of your
engaging.
book. Yeah. So that's just common sense, but doing that more. like I said, I have a video editor now, so I expect that I can churn out way more content because he's going to go through a lot of my full-length videos and clip them, and he does a really good job, and he's going to clip them, and we're going to use them as YouTube shorts. So that'll just be nice. That should free me up to like not have to worry about doing my own YouTube shorts now, which would just be fucking amazing. So we've also banged out a lot more content, which is part of the reason why we've had like 8 or whatever people it is in the last month sign up, because I've just been banging out more content. And I just did a podcast this morning talking about exactly this. And I said, any of your fucking goals, they're all a numbers game. And so if you're not happy with your current results in dating, go talk to 10 times as many people. If you're not happy with how much money you're making, do 10 times the content. If your YouTube channel is growing too slow, do 10 times the content. There is like a direct correlation. Like it's insane. It's just like basically a 1-to-1 correlation of if you do 10 times as many videos, you get 10 times as many views and subscribers. Like it's really fucking applicable. So like I said, or we said, all of this has resulted in a much better month. And we want to say thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, team. Thanks, community. And I think more than anything, thank you for all the kind messages and comments. Like people, this community is so unbelievably nice. I just get like emails every fucking day, basically, and YouTube comments as well. Just every day, someone writing some long, like 5-paragraph thing about thank you, Andy, blah, blah, blah. Here's how I've changed my life. And those emails never, and those messages never stop hitting. Like they never stop affecting you every single time you read one. You're like, wow, this is like a human being who's telling me like they've been on this journey and they've evolved and they've grown and they've learned. And I got to be a little bit of a part of that, even though they obviously did the work. I just sat here in front of the camera and said some shit. But man, it's really fucking nice being part of this community. And I think it's been a wild ride for the last 3 years. I think I started content 3 years ago, not YouTube, but writing articles.
Yeah, it's been pretty full on.
We went through like lots of stuff, struggling to pay bills, the COVID lockdowns. That was fucking rough on both of us, moving multiple times to get away from all the lockdowns and shit. You know, busting our ass, never knowing if we were going to make it, having doubts and insecurities the entire time. Holy shit. Like this is definitely the hardest thing that either of us have done. This is nothing. Like building this business, girls are nothing. All the stuff I did for dating and stuff was nothing compared to this. And I thought at the time dating was the hardest thing I was ever going to do. Like the approach anxiety program, learning to hit on women in public, all the sex, having threesomes, all the insecurities, the doubts, working on my body. I would even say this has been way harder than overcoming my depression and my suicidal, thoughts when I was in my 20s. This has been harder.
And it's been one of the things that I think has tested our relationship the most.
For sure.
Probably the most, even more so than like me moving away from my hometown, interstate, away from all of my family to be with you, basically.
That pales in comparison compared to money and business, yeah.
Yeah, it's been a lot.
Yeah. And lots of things we could have done better, but we didn't know at the time. We did the best we could. So I plan on doing a lot more content, especially as we get to a point where we're making more and more money, and we regularly have months like this where we earn like 28,000, 30,000. Our goal is to get to 30,000 a month, like consistently, and then 50 and then 100 grand a month, every month consistently, US dollars. And as I'm going further along this journey, I plan on documenting everything. I plan on just like explaining to you guys everything we've learned, all the mistakes we've made. Not that they were mistakes, they were learning lessons, but all the things that we've learned, all the things we didn't know, things we could have done better. Like if we could right now go back in time, 3 years, I obviously wouldn't change anything because I like how everything's worked out. But like if it was a video game and I got to change things, like there would be a lot of things that we would do differently because we've learned a lot. And I think now if you reset everything and started us with 0, like we had no audience, no followers, I think we could do what we've just done in the last 3 years. I think we could do that in like 3 months.
3?
Yeah. Yes. Because I have so much faith in my ability to make money. Right? I didn't have that before. I didn't think I was worth paying $10,000 to. I didn't think I was worth paying anything to. Whereas now I do. So I would go out on the street and just like hustle and just literally cold approach random strangers and be like, yo, hey, I need 10 grand. I'll do whatever you want. Like, what do you want? I'll do it, whatever. Like, I'll counsel you. I'll coach you. I'll paint your fucking house. I'll like change your life. I will get you that relationship you've always wanted. I would go to places like, I don't know, Dungeons and Dragons. I would go to like Toastmasters and like the places where tech nerds go. And I would go, listen, you're a tech nerd. You have lots of money, but you don't know what you're doing with women. I will help you. Like I will coach you for the next 3 to 6 months. And if I do a good job, pay me a little bit right now, pay me $1,000 right now. If I do a good job, you pay me the next 30 grand or whatever. So I could do that with nothing, with no testimonials, with nothing, because I have that faith in myself. The same thing with when you improve your sex or your dating life. You get to a point, like if you put me in a random country and I didn't have you, I didn't have myself, I didn't have clothes on my back or anything, I could have sex within 1 week because I know that I can. I'd probably have sex within a day. If you put a gun to my head, I would have sex within a day because I'd have to, because you had a gun to my head. And so it's that like ability or that faith in yourself that you can do the thing. And that only comes with experience. So all of this is to say, like, everything you guys have supported us with for the last, 3 years or so has just been like absolutely amazing. Like you've made it so much easier with the love and the support and all of that stuff. And we're super grateful. And so if you're struggling yourself with any of this, hang in there. We're with you. Keep your chin up. Let's, before we finish, talk about the wealth dynamics test that we did. So we did this little test it's called Wealth Dynamics Test. It costs $97. You can just Google Wealth Dynamics or wealthdynamics.com. Take the test, $97. You can also get a discount code that makes it $60. We don't get any money for this. They don't sponsor us or anything. But it's just fucking cool. And essentially what it does is it tells you what your strengths are, what you're good at when it comes to making money, and also more to the point, what your passions are. It asks you a bunch of questions and it tells you what you would actually enjoy doing in terms of making money. I think a lot of people, especially the guys that come to me who want to start a business or start making their own money and get away from that corporate 9-to-5 grind, they have no idea what they would actually enjoy. And I say to them, okay, what are you passionate about? Do you know? And they're like, I don't have any fucking clue. And so
a lot of people are in that position.
Yeah. And so I would absolutely spend $66 if you get that discount code. And that discount code, just Google Wealth Dynamics discount code. I can't remember what it is.
30.
Okay, Wealth 30. WEALTH 30. Yeah. Again, we didn't get any money from that, not sponsored. My friend gave me this test and he took it and we both took it. Fucking amazing at showing you what you'd immediately be passionate about. And so we'll show you our results. So for me, so it spits out this like fucking 50-page document explaining everything to you about like what you're good at, celebrities who are the same type as you, who
You're highly successful people.
Yeah. And what your strengths are, who you should have around you to support you with that strength, like to fill in some of your weaknesses, how you can improve some of your own weaknesses. It also says your secondary and your third options. Like it gives you your main option, like here's what you would enjoy the most. And here's like a list of like 30 different jobs that you could take or different skills that you're going to have. It also gives you a list of jobs that you probably fucking hate. And I read through the whole list and I'm like, yeah, I hate all of these jobs. And then the ones that said I would love, I read through all of them and I'm like, holy shit, like you've just nailed me. Same with you. Yours was incredibly accurate. So was my friend. It's just really fucking useful at showing you what you'd be good at. So it might be a little hard to understand what this is saying, but this bit in the middle where there's the blue line is basically showing you how you skew. And you can see most of mine skews up towards the top right corner where it says star. And then a lot of it also skews to the very top where it says creator. And then a fair bit to the right where it says supporter. And so in this big document that it gave me, it says, all right, like the main thing that you're going to enjoy doing is being the star. Like the face of a YouTube video, or you could be like Oprah Winfrey, like have your own TV show, or Tony fucking Robbins. Like basically you're the central focus of whatever it is that you're doing. Like you're a YouTuber, or you're a Twitch streamer, any of that kind of shit. You're a writer, you know, like J.K. Rowling, although she would be more like creator. But anyway. You're the star and you're the face of it. And I read all that and I was like, fuck yes. This is absolutely what I enjoy doing the most. And then the secondary thing it said is like, you also like creating. That could be a secondary thing you can do. Obviously, that's what content creation is. That's why I loved photography so much. All of that kind of shit. And then the third thing is supporter. So that's kind of like coaching. And so it just spits out this nice graph of what you would be good at. Should we look at yours?
Yeah. Mine, we're actually a little bit surprised by mine.
Yeah.
So I do a lot of art, like fine art, so painting, drawing, illustration, that kind of thing. And so Andy was talking about like, I think I know what you're going to get.
I thought yours would say creator. I honestly did.
Yep. And it actually turns out that I skewed towards
mechanic.
Basically the opposite of that, like mechanic, lord, accumulator.
Yeah, so the three on the left here. So your number one thing is mostly lord. Your secondary one was like accumulator, and your third was mechanic. And so a mechanic is someone who actually likes to get in there and do the thing. which when we analyzed that, that is entirely accurate. I thought you were creative, and I thought you enjoyed creative things because you're an artist and you love to paint and draw and sketch and all of that. But you have said to me 10 billion times in our relationship, I can't think of any ideas. I hate thinking of ideas. Can you give me an idea? And then when I hear that, because I'm more of the creator side of things, I'm like, oh my fucking God, like, let me give you 500 ideas. Here you go, honey. I've given you 50 ideas. And then you will just execute on those ideas. And you seem to be happiest, like every mechanic, when you're actually getting in there and doing, like, you're tinkering, you're mixing the different paints, you're trying different brushes, you're doing different brush strokes, you're trying different mediums. You love the actual art of doing the thing, which is pretty much the opposite of me. I don't enjoy doing that. I like coming up with the idea, and then I want someone else to do the fucking idea. No. I don't enjoy getting in there and do it. I want the idea to be finished. I want it to hurry up and finish so I can say, look at this amazing creative idea that I had, and then I move on to the next idea. It's why I have in my notebook right now, God, I can probably check.
So many ideas.
Yeah, I think
like
there's
over
like
100, definitely.
800 and something.
800.
Okay, 500 notes for 512 notes for podcasts.
Jesus Christ.
And then if we go into the long-term goals, there's like way more in there.
Keeping in mind that about once a year you go through and delete everything because there's too many and you know you'll never get them all done.
Yeah, so I just wipe the whole thing. Once a year, I wipe the whole thing and start from scratch. And by the time I get to the end of the year, I have like 1,000 ideas for content, for podcasts, for blog articles and all of that. And a bunch of shit that's half written that I just haven't hit published on. And so, yeah, I definitely skew more towards the coming up with ideas. Imogen's just kicking like fucking everything in this podcast room.
Fidgety.
But you're more the mechanic and accumulator and lord. The lord is someone who likes to get in there and fucking do all the budgeting and fucking make all that shit happen.
Yeah, and doesn't like being like the people-centric part of any sort of...
You like tinkering with the little system and getting all of it organized and getting everything in place and doing all that shit. And accumulating, you like to have lots of cushions in the house. You like to have lots of money. You like to just have shit that you can just like accumulate.
I think it's been very helpful for us to look at differences in the way we view money because I'm much, much, much more conservative. And I think for the last couple of years of our relationship, especially when we've started to make money, you've just had the mindset of let's make more and spend more and that makes me very, very stressed. And
because you're not that person. Yeah.
No, and for a lot of years you've kind of told me like stop being silly, you're being like stingy or frugal or like you have a poor mindset. But that's the way that I view money. And similarly, you think the way that I view money is silly, and I think the way that you view money is silly sometimes.
We don't think that now because we've done this test and because we've eventually come to this point in our relationship where we've said maybe we just have different ideas of money and wealth. And
yeah, and that's distilling it down into very simple terms. But it's been helpful to see our differences and then we've both compromised a lot to come to a middle ground with finances.
Yep. And so I think this test, again, it is wealthdynamics.com. I recommend anyone in a relationship takes this test as well. Like if you're in a serious relationship, because it immediately shows you, like you said, your differences of money. Like, you know, here's me, creator, star, supporter. And you see, I have almost nothing in accumulator.
Yeah, you're like the least of the thing that I'm the most
of. Yeah. And yours, for comparison, I think it's your second most. Accumulator, it's like equal most, your accumulator. And so you like to get stuff and keep stuff and have stuff around the house. I don't. I'm a hardcore minimalist. I regularly just throw everything out.
Makes me very stressed.
I constantly throw shit out because I'm like, I don't fucking need this. Like, or I just give it away. I'm like, yeah, you have it. You fucking have this thing. Like, well, you know, even that's my mindset with money. If someone came up to me, like, you know, homeless people, like, hey, I need money. Okay, here's $20, here's $50. I'm not thinking that I need to keep it, whereas that's the opposite for you. And realizing that about ourselves means that we can then translate between the two different languages that we're speaking. I'm speaking in terms of like, I don't want to keep anything. I'm going to die anyway. Like, what's the fucking point? You're speaking the language of, no, I have to keep shit because it's precious. It's sentimental. It means something to me. And then we
safety in it.
Yeah, and we can kind of
safety a lot.
Translate that. Yeah, I don't give a fuck about safety because I'm like, I'm going to die one day. Obviously, I'm not, you know, throwing myself off a building. So I care to some degree about safety. But for the most part, I'm just of the mindset of like, yo, let me just get in there and help people and be that star or be that creative person or be that supporter. We can always just make more money. And you've always been like, well, I want to keep what we have. Don't waste what we've had. So it really does help you in a relationship sense and absolutely in a money or a business sense. And if you're trying to find your passion. So again, wealthdynamics.com. What were you going to say?
I was just going to touch on the fact that, as you already pointed out, money and finances has probably been the thing that has tested us the most.
Yep.
And we've been tested a hell of a lot.
Yeah.
across many, many things. And I can see why it's the number one cause that people, like couples, break up.
Yeah, it
Because-
is the number one reason.
Because if you don't have like similar views on money and finances, you can butt heads a lot. And so that's why I think the test has been helpful for us. And we were already coming to the point of understanding how each of us view money, but maybe doing something like this could have gotten us there a hell of a lot sooner, rather
Yeah.
than each of us getting frustrated at the other person thinking their views on money were wrong.
Yeah, I was just going to say exactly that. Like, if we put the two of them side by side, so you can really just, and I know they're going to be small, but whatever. Like, you can just really see I'm on the left, Imi's on the right. Those are fucking different graphs. Those are polar opposites. We are essentially the polar opposite of each other. And realizing that can do what you said or what I said. You're translating, it's bridging the gap between your views on money or your views on wealth or your views on even life and my views on life. And so you can realize, oh, we just have different opinions. We just have different philosophies or principles. You're not wrong and I'm not wrong. And I think for a while we were both sort of thinking each other were silly. It was like, oh, you're being silly. No, you're being silly. And it's like, no, we just have different ideas about money.
And I think the beautiful thing is coming to this point of understanding is learning that our opposite views are actually quite complementary. Like when you actually start working together,
instead of telling each other that you're wrong,
then it helps, because a lot of what this test also offers, and it's like a big PDF that will tell you or give you lots of suggestions based on your results. A lot of it says like you should have people around you that are the opposite of you, so that they can kind of keep you in check with certain things. So yours, for example, it mentioned that you're likely to be a bit more frivolous with money.
I just spend
a lot,
money,
and I'm not thinking about accounting or like where it's going or anything like that. You're just
because in my mind I'm like, we can just make more.
So it's helpful to have people like me around who are gonna, and that's kind of what I've been doing for the last couple of years, is being like, Andy, we're spending too much money. And that has been a bit frustrating, because we've both been frustrated at each other because
we didn't know.
Yeah.
That we were speaking different languages, but now we get it. And now it's like you can be more empathetic to each other, because I can go, oh, you're an accumulator. Yeah, it hurts you when I immediately, the money that comes in, I immediately throw that to Cam or something and be like, hey, Cam, here's more money, or immediately spend that on podcast equipment or something like that. That can hurt, because it's just not what your thing is. And then you can see from my point of view, if I sit there and don't spend the money that we get, I feel like I'm not making progress. If I just keep it all, then I'm like, what's the fucking point of this? I want to dump it into the podcast, into the content to make that better. So we can kind of empathize with each other a lot more. And yeah, it really has been complementary. For the last couple of months, we've started towards this. For the last 6 months, we've been towards this. When we took this test, it was really like, holy shit, like, yeah, this is what we already subconsciously knew, but now it's like written down in a beautiful graph right there. You can see that we're complete opposites. And you really do compliment me a lot, and I think I compliment you a lot. And I think that those, you can kind of come together and like gel, and your weaknesses, I fill them in with my strengths. You're not great at creativity. You're just fucking not. Like, at coming up with ideas, you're just not.
Irritates me.
And you're not good at making fucking money. You're not good at going like, all right, we need money right now, let's get it. And I'm not good at keeping the fucking money. I'm certainly not good at like tax or any of that shit.
My job.
Yeah, so it's like you do that shit, and then it feels like this nice yin-yang balance. So again, really recommend that test, wealthdynamics.com. Absolutely amazing. I might do more content on it in the future. Like maybe I'll walk you guys through I'll show you the PDF that it spits out so you can have a look. But really, really, really recommend it, especially if you're starting a business. Anything else to add before we wrap up this disjointed, messy, but fun podcast?
Comment whose stickers you like more. Chaos stickers?
Yeah, look at all these fucking stickers. So
Or
I should probably...
Look at my cute cat. And he's like little like
Look at this.
face.
It's going to be blurry no matter where I put it. We got where is it? SpongeBob making a derpy face. We got Kirby. We got YouTube saying 7.7 million likes. We got a weird fucking weed thing. We got a dog. We got another Kirby. No, it's a llama. We got other shit on the back that you guys can't see. Anyway, just comment that mine's better. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. As always, if you comment that Imogen's is better, I am going to... What should I do? Come to your house and steal...
Acknowledge
come to
that
your
you
house
might be
and...
wrong.
Watch this, ready? Come to your house and move all of your knives and forks around in your cutlery drawer. Like, I'm going to put them the opposite. So you're going to go to grab the knife, and you're going to be like, what the fuck? Was the knife always over there? That's weird. Like, I thought the knives were on the right. What the fuck is going on? And I'm going to, like, turn all your clothes in your house inside out. So you got to put them on. You're like, no, I fucking know that I
But I
put them on the
didn't
coat
put
hanger the right way.
every
This is fucked.
item of clothing.
I'm going to get your blanket
And then
and
they're
I'm going to
probably
put it
gonna-
upside down so the tag is like hitting you in the face when you're trying to sleep. And put all your pillows inside out. What else can I do? And I'll murder your entire fucking family.
No.